What's up, Taiwan? I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Presidential candidate Donald Trump argues that China stole American manufacturing jobs, and he's pledged to steal them back. In the latest in our special series on the U.S. campaign trail, Louise Watt traveled to the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania. Thousands of steel and other jobs have disappeared there. Despite that, Trump's message is not always welcome.
It hasn't been easy for retired steamfitter John Kostick to campaign for Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. In his home state of Pennsylvania, he's been playing cat and mouse with Republicans who replace his Harris signs with her rival Donald Trump's. This old industrial state is a key battleground in the presidential elections. And Kostick says Harris would be better for workers, despite Trump's promise of bringing jobs back to the US. A vow the billionaire also made when he ran for president and won in 2016.
Donald Trump, his whole candidacy is built on lies. He said he was going to help the coal miners. Did he help the coal miners? No. Coal miners still lost their jobs.
This time around, Trump says he's going to steal jobs back from other countries, including China, and restore Pennsylvania, one of the nation's main manufacturing hubs, to its former glory. Throughout the 20th century, the steel industry drove parts of Pennsylvania. Here in the city of Bethlehem was once the world's second largest steel manufacturer, employing 35,000 people. But it stopped making steel 30 years ago. Since then, the city has diversified into other industries, like medical devices, pharmaceuticals, and finance. Regardless of Trump's pledge, a former mayor of Bethlehem, Don Cunningham, says it makes no sense to recreate a steel industry of more than 40 years ago.
It's a romantic notion that people love to hear, because if you miss something and someone tells you you can go back to it, it's like if somebody said you go back to childhood and be in your safe space with your mom and dad. It's a nice notion, but it's not an economic strategy.
So at least in my time, the major job of the carpenters was scaffolding and roofing.
Wanting to preserve the industry's legacy, former steelworker Don Young leads weekly tours around the long-closed Bethlehem steel site. He worked here for 37 years and is a Republican, but he's not as passionate about the party's candidate as his wife, Barbara. She says she believes Trump will bring jobs back, something necessary for America's security.
Well, my grandfathers and my uncles, my own father worked in the coal mines, very hard job. And we need to be independent. We need to be independent of China, and we need to frack and dig for our own coal.
Harris, Trump's opponent, has also been campaigning in Pennsylvania, vowing to stop China undermining American workers, trying to appeal to voters in this crucial swing state, arguably the most important one for either candidate to win. Here, their promises for the future are set against the ghosts of long-gone industries, confronting questions over whether communities can move on from the past and from the present division that persists in American politics. Justin Wu, Ed Moon, and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Deanna, a major Japanese women's professional wrestling promotion, has performed in Taiwan for the first time. The fans from around the country traveled to a remote venue for a chance to see some legends of the sport. Our reporter Sandy Chi was among them. Please note, these are professional actors. Don't try to imitate them.
In an industrial space in northern Taiwan, pro wrestling legends make history. They half fight, half perform with passion and emotion, bringing the spectacle to a climax with a massive double drop kick. This is the first time World Women Pro Wrestling Deanna, a famous Japanese promotion, has performed in Taiwan. Over the weekend, some of its youngest stars and mythic senior talent climbed into the ring. Among them was 63-year-old Jaguar Yokota, widely celebrated as one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. In the early 1980s, she was considered among the best in the world, regardless of gender. Her debut in Taiwan marks a historic moment for the local scene. Although the audience, mostly men and boys, was starstruck, Jaguar found them easily relatable.
台湾はとてもやっぱ顔が東南アジア人だから同じなのですごく馴染みやすいわかるかな馴染みやすい同じ顔だから日本人と台湾の人一緒なのでとても馴染みやすいし
Having these Japanese professional wrestlers perform in Taiwan marks a significant milestone for the sport in the country, which has a small but committed following.
やっぱりその台湾は団体が多分2団体しかないっていうのを聞いてて、日本にはやっぱりなんか結構何十個も団体がたくさん男子も女子もあって、そうですねやっぱりその台湾のお客さんはあんまりプロレスとか馴染みが少ないとは思うので、すごいやっぱ盛り上げればすごい乗ってきてくれるし。
In contrast to Taiwan, professional wrestling enjoys widespread popularity in the US and Japan, where it has its own distinctive traditions and styles. Promotions in the US focus on grand story arcs that unfold over years and often feature big entrances with pyrotechnics and dramatic stunts. But Japanese wrestling promotions like Diana usually emphasize a more respectful atmosphere between athletes and audiences, focus on technical skills, and often feature elements of slapstick comedy. Nonetheless, both styles have a strong emphasis on storytelling. And more often than not, it's these evolving plots that keep the hardcore fans or the marks coming back.
It's just the characters, the storytelling, the bumps and the hits inside the ring. It's beautiful. It's an art that you just need to pay attention to understand. That is what pro wrestling is to me. It's an art form for those who love storytelling, combat sports, and, well, everything that is about sports.
Though the event is held outside the capital in an alley in Taoyuan, it has attracted many of its loyal fans. And for them to see these bigger-than-life characters up close is a rare opportunity and definitely worth the trip. Many in the audience have been wrestling superfans for years.
我今天看完一整盒，就是蛮精彩的比赛，相当又看到两位传奇人物来到台湾，井上金子跟美洲虎横田选手，他们都是从我小学、国中时期就已经看过了他们的比赛，电视上看过的。
它的艺术性蛮有趣的啦，就是它其实有点像电影或戏剧这样，它有一种虚实，因为其实虽然说看起来它是一些通过表演在感受，但其实它有东西都是很真实的情感跟能量的那种交流啦。
Though the event only lasted for a few hours, it has certainly left a lasting impact on its fans. The electrifying atmosphere and skills on display resonated with the audience. For the people here, having a chance to see legends from wrestling's past while making history in Taiwan is a sure sign that the sport's future in the country is bright. Ryan Wu, Alex Chen, Bryn Thomas, and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we take you to the Costa Rican town of Barva, where people are keeping alive an old tradition of celebrating in the streets with giant masks. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.